Today we're on our way to check out yet another dead mall. Now this one is on its last leg. Like, it's probably just a couple of days away from closing down completely. And this one is a little extra sad because not only have so many people created so many memories at this mall back in the 80s and 90s, but also one of the best movies, not just the best movies of the 80s, but one of the best movies of all time was filmed in the parking lot of this mall. And soon, it's all going to be erased forever. So, let's go see what we can find. Well, here we are at the Puente Hills Mall. I'm currently standing on the very same hill that Marty McFly would have rolled down in Back to the Future. As you can see here, the signs are very outdated. They still got a sign for Toys R Us and Babies R Us, and Toys R Us has been closed down for, quite a while now. So obviously that's not right. And then if you look right over here, they've got Soup Plantation. And Soup Plantation as well, I want to say, has been out of business for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years. But they've still got the sign up. And if you were driving by, you would assume that it was a functioning soup plantation. But then if you look down here, you can see some of the windows are boarded up. There's graffiti. They still got a sign in the window. Savings for seniors, $8.99 Monday through Friday, from 2 to 5 p.m. Includes beverage. It's a pretty good deal. And then right up here on the roof, you've got somebody's shoe. Okay, so I came to the backside of Soup Plantation and I found the other shoe. And there's also another one. There's a blue shoe as well. Now I don't know what the heck is going on. So that's the original shoe that I saw. And then I showed you on the backside, I thought I found the match to that shoe. But if you come over to this side, there is the match to that shoe. So that one on the back, those two on the back side, those are two completely different shoes. Why are there so many shoes on the roof of Soup Plantation? So Marty McFly would have rolled down this hill on his skateboard and then come to a stop right here in front of this railing and look down into the parking lot, and that's where he saw Doc Brown's truck. And it was right down here where Marty first sees the DeLorean time machine. I mean, that is a major part of the movie. It all took place right down here. And like I said, pretty soon, this is all gonna be gone. Now, people are a little unsure about what's going to be happening with this mall because originally it was said that they were just going to be doing a huge remodel. So people were a little hopeful that maybe they weren't going to be touching this side of the mall and that it wouldn't affect the filming location. But the plans that I saw said that right over here in this area, they were going to be building some condos. So that would definitely change the look of this area. Now there's a rumor that they might just be tearing down the mall completely. So nobody really knows. Now, I haven't been inside the mall yet today, so I don't know if there's any stores that are still in business. So we're gonna do that in just a couple of minutes, but before we do, let's take a walk around the mall and see what the exteriors look like. Now, there's actually quite a few cars in the parking lot over on this side. I'm assuming that's all for the 24-hour fitness, which is still open, and you can enter that from outside of the mall. So that might remain open for a while. The 24-hour fitness, of course, was JCPenney in Back to the Future. And then right over here, you've got the building that was, I believe it was Robinson's in Back to the Future. Now that building is completely unchanged from the way it looked in Back to the Future, of course, minus the sign. But as of right now, the building still looks exactly like it did in the 80s. This is on the side of the JCPenney building. Not sure if this was originally part of JCPenney. It looks like it was most recently a Burlington coat factory. You can just barely see up there where it said Burlington. Now this side of the mall appears to be a lot more lively. I'm not sure if it's because of the Hot Pot restaurant. Maybe that's what's drawing everybody in, but here The doors are open. There's a lot of cars in the parking lot on this side. It looks like Forever 21 is no longer in business. So that's not what all the cars are for. So I'm guessing it's for the Hot Pot restaurant. Now this is one of the buildings that I really enjoy here at the Puente Hills Mall. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this used to be Sears. And I really like this one because just like the Robinsons building, this one has not been changed since back in the day. It still looks just like it did in the 80s and 90s. Actually, you know what? You can see right here where it used to say Sears. I should have looked a little bit harder. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but right there you can see where the Sears sign used to be. So something that I've noticed today while driving around the parking lot that's definitely different from the last time I was here is there are a lot of homeless people walking around the outside of the mall right now. There's also a lot of shops on the Puente Hills Mall property that are outside of the main mall, and most of these businesses appear to still be doing good. So not sure what's going to happen to all of these shops once the mall completely closes down. You've got Jamba Juice, Wingstop, Crumble, T-Mobile, US Bank, a lot of big businesses, and there's more over on the other side. And over here on this side of the property, you've got Krispy Kreme donuts and Starbucks. And then right next to Starbucks, you've got Five Guys, and I can't see what that other business is, but the Starbucks and the Krispy Kreme and Five Guys, those are always busy. And then right across from Krispy Kreme, you've got Chick-fil-A, and right next to Chick-fil-A, you've got Raising Cane's, and all of these businesses are always packed. So it wouldn't really make sense for them to tear these down. So I'm gonna guess that if they do end up tearing down the main mall, they probably aren't gonna touch the businesses that are right outside of the main mall. Just my guess. I really don't know. All right, so we've seen the exteriors of the mall. Now let's head inside. All right, we're entering into the mall from the Back to the Future side. And it is very quiet in here. You see the buffet is closed down. Well, so far everything is closed down. So right when you walk into the mall, there's a seafood buffet that's shut down, and I was just noticing that on the front doors, they have a sign, and it appears that they might have shut down at the beginning of the pandemic and then just never opened back up. And if you look inside, it looks like that's definitely what happened. It looks like one day they were open for business, and the next day, they just didn't show up. You can see right down there, they've got their A grade laying on the floor. Everything that a functioning restaurant would have is still inside. They still got all the like the little cardboard signs on all of the tables showing the specials and stuff. Now right here on the side, they've got some glass bricks, giving it that vintage look. Oh, what's that? Oh my God. Okay, I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but it looks like there's a cockroach in between those glass bricks. Now they got a little map of the mall out here. Now this one has definitely seen better days. But you don't usually see maps of malls like this anymore. Now they're usually digital, but they've got a beat up cardboard map out here. And I was just noticing that on this map, it shows Sears, and then right over here, it shows Payless Shoes. So don't think that this map is up to date. Now the good news is, even though all the stores are shut down, they are still blasting Smash Mouth in here. So you can come, you can do some mall walking, you can listen to Smash Mouth. Now I don't know if this is still here, but right over here in this little cubby used to be the coolest part of the Puente Hills Mall. Oh, it is still here, but who knows for how long. The Twin Pines Mall sign. Now this, of course, is not an original sign that was used in the movie. This is a recreation. I believe this was made for the big 2015 celebration that they had out in the parking lot, I think. You know, actually it doesn't look much different from when I was here about a year ago. Okay, we found our first stores that are open. Right up there we got a store called Right Price Shoes. Oh, Ross is still open. There is a jewelry store that's open and a hair studio. Looks like we found another one, Morning Glory, still open, and they got a couple of customers in there. And then it's kind of strange, right inside Ross, they've got a sign that says, "We're hiring." I'm gonna assume it's not for this location. Now it looks like this entire section of the mall is closed, but only the bottom half. You can still go upstairs. Collector's Outlet still open. And the reason why I'm showing you guys what stores are still open is, you know, in case you want to come down here and throw a little business their way, I'm sure they'd appreciate it, because they're, you know, they're not seeing a lot of customers these days. So if I show you something that, you know, is of interest to you and you can head down here and help them out, please do so. The AMC movie theater is still open and surprisingly pretty busy. And then right next to it, you've got that hot pot restaurant. So that's what all those cars that I saw parked outside were for, the hot pot restaurant and the AMC. This is probably the most busiest section of them all. The hot pot restaurant looks really fun with all these neon signs in the window. Lots of awesome music being cranked up inside of this mall. Oh my gosh. Okay. What the heck is going on here? Oh, this is kind of weird too. Giant Santa Claus leg. Now this looks like it was probably the interior entrance of the Sears. I'm not sure, but that's what it looks like. And the Sears has probably been closed for quite a while and most likely just been sitting here abandoned. Now some sections of this mall are really eerie, like this little corner right here that's kind of dark and doesn't have one single store open, and there's no people, but they're blasting Lenny Kravitz. It's like you're in some kind of a weird dream. Pure Blades is all gone. Unfortunately, if you live in the area, you're gonna have to find a new place to get your knives. Now it looks like knives weren't the only thing that they sold. They also had E.T. action figures and, I don't know, who's that? Chuck Norris? Kevin Costner? Okay, now possibly we might have just got our answer to whether or not the entire mall is gonna be shut down or there's just gonna be a huge remodel, because right here on this sign, it says your Puente Hills Mall reinvented, and it's got some pictures of what the mall is going to look like. Now, again, I don't really know how much of the original building they're going to be tearing down, but what this does mean is they're not going to just be completely getting rid of the mall. There is going to be some kind of a Puente Hills Mall here. It looks like they're going to be turning it into an outdoor shopping area, which is what they're doing with a lot of the malls, but these plans change all the time, so only time will tell. Another section of the mall that is walled off. Round One Bowling and Amusement is still fully operational and actually has a decent little crowd in there. Now the last time that I was here about a year ago, one of the last major stores that was still open was Hot Topic. I think that was somewhere right over here in this area, and I think that Hot Topic just closed about a week ago. Couple stores over from Hot Topic, it looks like that was a Zoomies. Now, I don't think that was open when I was here a year ago either. And then right next to the Hot Topic and Zoomies was the food court. And I think when I was here a year ago, there was maybe one restaurant that was still open. I think it was Hot Dog on a Stick. And now it looks like nothing is open. it's looking more and more like they're not going to be tearing them all down. It says right here, Puente Hills Mall reinvented. It looks like they're just going to be doing a huge remodel on it. Now, again, plans change all the time. Who knows what's going to end up happening, but at least at the time that they put up this wall, it seems like that was the plan. But either way, whether they tear it down or they just do that remodel, it's going to look nothing like it used to. So there you have it. Definitely big changes coming for the Puente Hills Mall, but now we're a little uncertain. Is the mall going to be completely getting torn down, or are they just doing a major renovation? It now kind of seems like it's just going to be a major renovation, and if that's the case, maybe there still might be a home for the Twin Pines Mall sign. One thing's for sure though, no matter what happens here, the mall that we all know and love is no longer going to look the same. So this might be the last time that I ever see the Puente Hills Mall, the Back to the Future Mall, looking the way that it did back in the 80s and 90s. All right, that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Before I leave, I just wanted to drive Marty's route really quick. He would have jumped in the DeLorean and come down this path, which is actually going the wrong way, with the Libyans chasing him. Made a right turn and then swerved down this road. Right down here at the end, he would have made another quick right and another quick right. And this Jeep is kind of in my way, but then he would have headed this way. Directly in front of me would have been the Fox photo booth right here. And next thing you know, it would have been on Mr. Peabody's farm.